Hello everyone, this is Jialing. Today I'm going to have a presentation about cross-cultural negotiation. Through the study of Australian culture, explore the relevant cross-cultural issues that need to be paid attention to in business negotiations with people with Australian cultural background and corresponding solutions. Australia, a multicultural country in the southern hemisphere and has a unique and rich cultural background, deeply influenced by its history, geography, and social structure. In Australia, people not only appreciate the beauty of its natural landscape, but also cherish their personal relationships and mutual respect for their values. Um, in this country, negotiation is not only a transaction process, but also an art of cross-cultural communication. When negotiating with people from Australian natural backgrounds, it is essential to understand their unique values, attitudes, norms, and behaviors. This profile is designed to help us prepare to negotiate with an Australian, offering practical advice and tips to promote mutual understanding and cooperation. By gaining an in-depth understanding of key elements of Australian culture and adopting appropriate strategies and approaches, you can achieve more successful and lasting outcomes in your negotiations. According to the table, Australia has a high level of individualism, earning 73 on this dimension of in the Hofstede model. Personal autonomy, self-expression, and individual achievement are important to Australians. Individual goals take precedence over collective harmony and has a low power distance with a score of 38 on Hofstede scale. Australians have a more egalitarian vision of society and prefer lower organizational structures. Australia scores 61 on this scale, indicating a preference for masculinity. This implies a preference for accomplishment, achievement, and a great aggressiveness. A competitive and ambition are highly valued in Australian society. Australia has a low uncertainty avoidance culture with a score of 51 on Hofstede scale. Australians are more open to risk, change, and ambiguity in general. They placed a premium on adaptability and flexibility. According to the diagram, there is a score of 56 on the long-term orientation dimensions. However, Australian culture is more concerned with the short-term and immediate results. Australia has a high score of 71 for indulgence. It is worth noting that Australia is commonly associated with a more indulgent culture and a more relaxed way of life. Australians generally value freedom, individual rights, and equality. They tend to respect the space and the perspectives of others and value fairness and justice. Australians are usually friendly and easygoing and enjoy humor and self-deprecating. They tend to be outspoken, open, and candid, but also value politeness and respect. The first step is to build good relationships. Before negotiation, it is essential to establish good interpersonal relationships. Building trust and friendship through social events or informal gathering will help the negotiation proceed. The second is to respect the other person's point of view. Respecting the other side's point of view and the cultural background is the key to successful negotiating. Avoid conflict and argument, and Instead, adopt an attitude of listening and understanding, respecting the other person's opinion. The most important thing is to be open and honest. Australians welcome direct communication and candid exchanges. During negotiations, keep an open mind and be vocal about your needs and expectations. Finally, the core of the negotiations is to focus on cooperation and win-win results. Australian culture advocates the spirit of cooperation and win-win. In negotiations, emphasis is placed on cooperation and the search for win-win solutions rather than adopting a competitive and confrontational attitude. According to the above search on cross-cultural negotiation in Australia, the following four strategies are given. Understanding the cultural context is the first step. Before negotiation, understand the key characteristics and value of Australian culture to better understand the behavior and decision-making of the other party. Guanxi plays an important role in business negotiations in China on the international stage. Establishing good interpersonal relationships with business people in China or in Australian culture also determines the outcome of the negotiations to a certain context. Build good relationships through social events for informal gathering to build trust and understanding before negotiations begin. Equality of human rights is an important and invaluable the ESG form of human society. It is in the negotiation process, respect the views and opinions of the other party, avoid conflict and arguments, and adopt an attitude of listening and understanding. As mentioned earlier, successful negotiation is when both parties achieve the ultimate goal of interest. The emphasis on cooperation, on the search for win-win solutions, and the avoidance of a competitive and confrontational attitude promote the success of negotiations. Okay, that's all. Here's my reference list. Thank you so much.